I'm Bria Bryant, Global CMO at Assembly, and we are here in sunny Miami, Florida for the possible 2026 conference. I am in the Assembly Content Cabana with Regine Fiddler, our wonderful client at Hiscox. Regine is the CMO there, and she's had a remarkable career across a ton of global brands. She's now leading Hiscox through this really interesting moment for the category. Regine, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me, Bria. I'm very excited. So you did say Miami was sunny, but it's also very hot. 40 degrees difference from Connecticut to Miami, but definitely just enjoying the sun and enjoying the conference today.
Yeah. So as it relates to tech and innovation, what is your primary focus right now at Hiscox?
Well, it's definitely keeping with the theme here at Possible. It's all around AI. How do we embrace it, experiment in different parts of the marketing function? So we have started testing things like AI voice within our service channel. We're also thinking of how we introduce AI tools in our creative execution and preparing ourselves for agentic commerce. What does that mean for our tech stack, for our data, and more importantly, what does that mean for our customer experience?
Speaking of AI and technology, how is that shaping your approach to social, influencer, and media planning at Hiscox?
So definitely in terms of media planning, we're trying to think of, how do we optimize for channels like our LLMs so that they pick up our content, not just in paid, but also what we used to call organic. In addition, as we look at social influencers, we're still very much focused on what are the influencers that match our target audience. So our small businesses, thinking of their categories, what are some of their pain points, and social influencers that are really addressing some of the things that they're going through right now. For instance, how do they manage budgets, supply chains, inflation? So that's really core to our social influencer strategy. We want to add value to the content that we provide for our small businesses.
Very cool. Very cool. So I'm going to move into just talking about your career in marketing and how that has really impacted the way that you approach marketing broadly. So what's the biggest lesson that you've learned just throughout your career, and then how has that shaped the way that you approach marketing as a whole?
Definitely. So one of the biggest things that I've learned, and it's actually summarized in a beautiful quote, it says that marketing owns the brand, but customers own your reputation. So as much as marketers, we're trying to grow our base and grow revenue, it is really important that the customer voice is at the center of not just the marketing, but the user experience, and more importantly, the customer experience. So for me, it's not just about like the flashy campaigns, but what are customer trends that are really feeding our growth ambitions? And how do we listen to our customers and make sure that everything that we're doing, from our marketing, customer experience, our service, really addressing their needs and their future needs? So that's how I think of it. We own the brand, but the customers own the reputation. And the more that you can do to facilitate your reputation to your customers and stabilize that and make sure that you're growing with them, is the better off you'll be from a long-term perspective.
I love that. I'm stealing that quote, by the way.
It's not mine.
All right, so what do you think sets an exceptional marketer apart from someone else?
I think an exceptional marketer is able to embrace change. The world is going to evolve, our technology is going to evolve, data, your team is going to evolve. So being able to embrace those changes and figure out what kind of ecosystem, what kind of team optimization do you need for now and the future, and to address evolving trends is important. So don't just live with the status quo, what's working today, but really hone in on that experimental factor as a marketer.
All right, so thinking about this ability to pivot and leveraging trends, how has your approach to data and analytics shifted in recent years, and how is that changing for the way that you approach things at Hiscox?
I think during very early in my career, you would look at data and analytics at a very campaign level, like how is my email performing, how is my performance marketing, return on ad spend performing. Now it's really like, how is my entire marketing spend and campaigns performing at the entire customer life cycle? What's your NPS at the point of online purchase, at the point of servicing, at retention? Like trying to think of that marketing experience as a lifetime value, not just like, hey, I want to acquire this customer. So for me, that's how I've evolved in thinking about both the investment and the customer life cycle.
I always say you can't love them and leave them.
Yes, exactly.
You need to be in it. You need to be in it for the long haul.
Yeah.
So what's one piece of advice that you could give your younger self, or that you wish that you could give your younger self?
I think my younger self, I was very ambitious, and I kind of started off my career in consumer packaged goods, and I loved the glitz and glamour of marketing. It was just exciting. But for me, I've learned throughout like almost 30 years now, it really has to be grounded in integrity. Like if you want to do right by your customers, by your employees, and by the business, that should drive every decision. And once that's the focal point, everything else kind of falls into place. So for me, integrity, it starts with integrity and it kind of ends with integrity.
I love it. You've dropped so many gems. Is there anything else that you would like to leave the audience with?
I think just remembering that as much as our world is changing and there will always be a kind of a very digital first strategy, we should always remember that the human intervention and being human when it matters is something we all still need to balance. So as much as AI is fun and technology, let's make sure that we're being there for our customers in a human way when it matters the most.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Bria. It was fun.
Thank you.